So I've been looking back at my catalog of content and I've sort of come to the realization that I've been neglecting my Australian viewers. Outside of the Corey Worthington video, I really haven't covered any internet phenomena spawned from the land down under, and honestly this is just sad because there have been some pretty quality contributions to internet lore from the Australians. Well, today I'm going to show the Aussie land some love and tell the story of one of the most internet famous members of its citizenry. This man, like many others who acquired online notoriety in the early 2010s, got famous from a news blooper clip that went viral on YouTube. I'm talking about Australia's barking rabid dog man.
They came bounding over.
In 2010, this man became famous after his uncanny dog impression was featured in an Australian news report. The clip was published to YouTube and thereafter went viral. The man's barking ability captivated the internet, and he would become an Australian internet legend not long after. This has long been one of my favorite viral clips to come out of the 2010s. I've always wondered the story behind it and what happened to the guy in the video after he became a viral star. Well, I did my research and I have the full story for you here. Today I share with you all the full story of Australia's barking rabid dog man. This story begins in April of 2010 in Marsfield, a quiet suburb located in northwest Sydney, Australia. Around this time, residents of the neighborhood had been complaining to the city about a sudden increase in stray dogs roaming the streets. In many cases, these dogs would act aggressively towards humans, often growling and lunging at people taking leisure walks. There was a pair of two tan-colored dogs in particular that had been blamed for causing most of the mayhem within Marsfield, with multiple incidents of aggression from the cantankerous canines being reported. Despite many complaints from residents being filed, the city was doing little to combat the problem, and at this point, the news media would get involved and shine light on this situation. A popular Australian current events news show called A Current Affair would pick up on the story, and got in touch with a married couple hailing from Marsfield who claimed to have come into contact with the dog pack. This couple consisted of Ray Graham and his wife Carrie Graham. On April 12th, a crew of reporters from A Current Affair would go to the Graham residence and conduct an interview with Carrie and Ray. These reporters likely expected a rather routine conversation regarding the matter at hand, but when 57-year-old Ray Graham gave his testimony to the crew, this story was destined to become a memorable one.
So how is it that these two are roaming their neighbourhood, frightening the locals, and the council isn't stopping it?
Now, yesterday morning, I came out into the front yard and the dogs were across the road. And as soon as they saw me, they came bounding over.
And just like that, a meme was born. Ray's uncanny rabid dog impression was quickly discovered by the internet after the story was posted to Current Affairs YouTube channel. After its upload, the views would begin to pour in by the hundreds of thousands, and humble Ray Graham would find himself becoming a living meme practically overnight.
That is the craziest I've seen in a while. What, was he bitten by a werewolf?
And I just made it into the front door in time.
They were now calling him Rabid Ray Graham. Facebook groups popped up worshipping his likeness. Much like Corey Worthington, who came before him, Ray became an Australian legend, all because of a news interview.
Fast forward 2 days, and now he's an internet superstar.
What do you think when you watch the clip back?
I think it's hilarious.
And much like practically every other person famous from a viral news clip, Ray found himself becoming inundated with requests to appear in low-budget television commercials. At the time of him becoming a living meme, Ray was retired and he really didn't have anything else better to do, so he eventually would decide to do one of these commercials. Looking to have a bit of fun, he accepted a commercial offer. The commercial that he starred in was for Ultratune, an Australian automotive servicing franchise. The result of the collaboration between Ultratune and Rabid Ray Graham could not have been more perfect.
Came out, jumped in the car, but when I started it, it was like, So I took it straight down to Ultratune, And I said to the guys, my car's going, ah, ah. And you know what? They knew exactly what I was talking about. It was the weirdest noise you've ever heard, wasn't it, love?
Now, I wish there was a bunch of commercials with Ray in them, but unfortunately this was the only one. He never really went out of his way to make a lot of money off of this meme. Rather than shilling himself out, he just went along living his life as normal. But don't get it twisted, he by no means was embarrassed or ashamed of his rabid dog clip. In fact, he very much embraced it. In fact, he would recreate the sound for anyone if they requested it. If he was recognized by a passerby on the street, he would perform his rabid dog sound for them without hesitation. He told Daily Dot, "I just love barking. I think seeing people get a kick out of it like they do, that makes me really happy. They always want to take a photo and sometimes I sort of bark at them. They really love that. I'm humbled by all the attention. It's pretty nice having people come up to me in the street. I like it and I enjoy it, and if I had my time over again, I'd do it all the same. It's been all positive. There's been no downside, but it has definitely changed my life." And not only does Ray like barking for strangers on the street, he also has really enjoyed barking for the news media. Since 2010, Ray has been asked by various media outlets to perform his rabid dog impression, and every time he is delivered.
Ray, what's your wife doing right now?
Well, she was asleep.
Still got it, mate.
And I just made it into the front door in time.
This seems to be one of those uncommon cases where the living meme is extremely grateful for what had happened to them. Ray seems to be extremely positive in regards to him becoming a meme and has really just enjoyed the way people have reacted to him over the years.
Do you still hear about it from people today?
Oh yes, quite often. We often get stopped in the shopping centres and places like that.
So have you still got it? Give us your best barking dog.
Wrapping things up here, there really is no deep rabbit hole with this story. There's no crazy twist at the end. There's no meme to millionaire situation. Ray's story is honestly just a wholesome tale of an old Australian man with a great rabid dog impression. And speaking of dogs, what about the stray dog problem that was going on in Ray's neighborhood? Well, Ray's dog impression may have actually led to his neighborhood becoming safe again. He has since claimed that after the video blew up, the city council may have seen it and took immediate action on the dog problem, because shortly after the video popped off, the stray dog suddenly vanished.
How are your neighbours feeling about it?
Look, we've had fantastic support from the whole street. That's what this was all about, protecting the residents of the street, because the council wouldn't. That's why we did it. We'd warned the council we're going to go to the media if they didn't fix the problem, and they wouldn't fix it. So we went to the media, and it ended up taking on a life of its own. We heard that the day the story broke, the council was in crisis meeting. And it serves them right. They were warned plenty of times. They refused to take the action that they needed to take. The residents in the street needed to be protected.
Rabid Ray's barking clip is honestly one of my favorite viral videos of all time. It's in my top 20 list for sure. Maybe you guys feel the same way. Regardless, I'm glad I finally got to share this story with you all because it's one I'm pretty passionate about. As of this day, Ray Graham is 66 years old and he still lives in his Marsfield home with Carrie, his wife of over 40 years. He spends most of his time with his grandkids nowadays, but he also makes sure to save a little bit of time to bark at strangers at the supermarket. He's happy and healthy, and hopefully he sticks around for a while. But that's the story of Rabid Ray Graham, the psycho barking dog man. What did you guys think about today's story? Let me know down below in the comments section, and let me know who or what you want me to talk about next. Working on getting that Shovel Girl video back up, bear with me. Want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. Wavywebsurf out. Peace.